Come seeker, come traveler, come all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne. Here, we have a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning. Okay, well, I'm Emily Smith. I'm a member of the board, and I'm here to welcome you to our church, where we are on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you are new to us, please fill out a welcome card and drop it in the offering basket so we can share information about our activities and help you find what nourishes your spirit here. There are note cards in your pew for writing your joys and sorrows for the pastoral prayer. We pass a square basket during the offering to gather those up. You can write your name or remain anonymous. You can also write "Do Not Share" on the card if there's something you want held in care by our minister and pastoral care team, but not spoken aloud. So we have a lot of things happening every week in our community, and here are a few that are coming up soon. On the second and fourth Sundays, Faith Development will be for 5 to 12-year-olds meeting downstairs following the Time for All Ages. Please join us to serve our neighbors at the Kamea. Nothing is required except for a smile and closed-toed shoes. The next time is Saturday, May 30th. That's next Saturday at 6 p.m. at the Kamea House. Beginning Sunday, June 7th, you are invited to our New to UU class to learn more about the congregation's founding and history, our connections with Unitarian Universalism as a denomination, and about becoming a part of our hopes for the future. Newcomers, friends, and longtime attendees are all welcome in this class. It's especially appropriate for those who are wondering about becoming more involved as a member of this congregation in the coming months or years. And lastly, we have Pride Cheyenne 2026. There will be food trucks, music, vendors, organizations, artists, and performers at Pride. You can find artisans of various items, including jewelry, handmade snacks, home decor, and other items that bring joy. You can also enjoy the day exploring our amazing downtown and partners providing unequaled shopping, restaurants, and entertainment venues. They will even have a puppy pageant. So if you've been to Pride before, the puppy pageant is unsurprisingly my favorite part. We had some people saying that we should put our dog Peachy in there, and so I really think we should. She'd look great in a tutu. So Susan, maybe we need a tutu for the dog. Okay, so UUCC needs volunteers for our booth at Pride. We give glitter blessings and have people come by, and the last time I was there was a lot of people that came by that were shocked that we even existed and that we were a church, and they enjoyed very much chatting with us. So please sign up for a 2-hour time slot in the social hall during coffee hour. We have a sign-up sheet. Okay, so we also gather in person and on Zoom every week, giving from our resources to sustain the work of the church and share our abundance with community organizations that broaden the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number in your order of service, or you can use the Realm app for your electronic giving. And your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the baskets here in a few minutes as they pass. Our Share the Plate partner for the month of May is Bethel Ministries, and we're going to have Chuck Skinner tell us just a little bit about Bethel Ministries. Thanks, Chuck.
Everything that Janet Black said last week, that's what I say again. No. Actually, you covered everything. I mean, Bethel Ministries helps folks that are transitioning, which is ironic because that's really kind of the theme about what Michaela and I will be helping service with today is the change and transition. And we've got a lot of that going on. And obviously, in the longest blurb ever, that's kind of explained about today's service. But so Roy has, as far as I know, been the leader or president or vice president of Bethel Ministries for a number of years, and they're helping folks transition from incarceration to the community, and that can be a difficult one. You get obviously ensconced in prison, and I work with a number of folks that are have felony records, and they come out a lot of different ways, but a lot of times they're just scared to talk to people because they're going to get in trouble. They do a fundraiser October, I think you said, Carol Jean, that I've been to a number of times, and that's it's kind of fun. There's food and testimonials and that kind of a thing, and they're simple. What they end up doing is helping folks with deposits, helping them get phones, helping them deal with a kind of landlord and moving into place requirements. And I asked Roy for some statistics for the last year, and it's like 250 people with various things, helping them get moved in, helping them do resumes, helping them, lots of different pieces in transition. So they have a lot of volunteers, and they don't have a lot of money, so we decided to share the plate with them. So thank you graciously for supporting them as we begin the process for offertory.
This offering of generosity is gratefully received for the work of the community within and beyond our walls.
Sure.
As we gather this morning, we gather in the midst of growth. Not someday, not eventually, right now. Outside, the world is stretching green toward the sun, leaves unfolding, grasses rising, flowers preparing to bloom. And here, in this community, growth is happening too. In our leadership, in our relationships, in our hope for what this congregation can become. Spiritually, we know that growth is rarely simple. Some changes we welcome with open hearts, and others we meet with fear, resistance, or grief. Yet even in uncertainty, there is within us a deep and liminal place, a quiet inner wisdom that remembers how to adapt, heal, and begin again. This morning, may we listen for that wisdom. May we make space for growth in ourselves and in one another. And may we worship together with open hearts, rooted deeply enough to bend, bloom, and become. For our opening hymn, I invite you to open your teal hymnals and rise in body or spirit to join us in singing number 1009, Meditation on Breathing. And we'll go through it 3 times. As we light this chalice, we remember that growth begins with roots. Trees do not reach skyward by accident. They stretch toward light because they are held by the earth. Grass bends and rises again because it is grounded deeply enough to endure wind and weather. So it is with us. We are rooted in love, in community, in memory, in shared purpose, and in the quiet wisdom that lives within each of us. From those roots we dare to grow, we dare to imagine new possibilities, to embrace change, to heal, to lead, and to dream beyond what we thought was once possible. May this flame remind us that what grounds us also frees us to reach outward, upward, and toward one another. May we be rooted deeply enough to grow bravely. And now will you join me in a spirit of prayer? Spirit of life and of love, we gather to be with one another, hoping to support each other as a comfort in hard times, to celebrate our joyful and happy moments, to dwell together in the wonder and the mystery of this magnificent and ever-changing life. We offer joy, for today is Lauren's birthday. May you have many more. We offer comfort and space for the bittersweet feeling of graduating high school. There is joy, but there is also fear, so we hold you. Please say prayers for Meg's husband. He's gotten an opportunity at a new job. And also Meg could use prayers as she restructures her business and career. And joy for Sarah Stump, daughter of Phil and Ellen Stump, graduating from Central High School this month. She will continue her education at the University of Arizona this fall. And may we acknowledge the springtime as the planting season and growth time of the earth is upon us. May we give thanks for the ever-changing earth and hold room in our hearts for all the joys as yet unshared and the sorrows too tender to be spoken aloud. May we find this space, peace, comfort, and community that unfolds us. Amen, and blessed be. And now, if the young or the young at heart wish to join us on the chancel at this time, we invite you to share in the leadership of speaking our covenant in unison before our time for all ages. The words to our covenant may be found on the inside cover of your order of worship, but we begin with the most important word. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to help others. Okay. Well, for today's Time for All Ages, I wrote a little story for you all, called The Tree's Roots. There once was a young tree growing in the middle of a wide meadow. The tree was surrounded by long flowing grass that danced constantly in the wind. The grass swayed gracefully back and forth, whispering and rustling all day long. The young tree admired the grass. "You're so free," the tree said one breezy afternoon. "You move so easily. Look at me, stuck in one place with roots holding me down." The grass laughed softly. "Holding you down? Is that what you think your roots are doing?" "Well, yes," said the tree. "I want to grow taller, stretch farther, and maybe even touch the clouds someday, but the roots just keep me buried." The grass bent low in the wind and replied, "Perhaps you should ask the oldest tree on the hill." Now at the edge of the meadow stood a great old oak. Its trunk was wide, its branches stretched out like open arms, and birds nested high in its leaves. That evening, the young tree called out, "Old oak, may I ask you something?" "You may," the old tree replied warmly. "Do roots stop us from being free?" The old oak was quiet for a moment before saying, "No. Roots are what make freedom possible." The young tree did not understand. The old oak continued, "Every storm you survive, every dry season, every winter wind, your roots help you endure them. They carry water when the sun is hot. They hold you steady when the winds are fierce. Because of your roots, you can keep growing." "But the grass moves so beautifully," the young tree said. "Yes," said the oak, "and the grass has roots too, tiny ones woven together beneath the soil, holding it there for all of us. That is why the grass can bend without breaking." Just then, dark clouds rolled across the sky. The wind began to howl. The long grass bowed low together, rippling like waves. The young tree trembled. "I'm scared." "Good," said the old oak gently. "That means you understand that the storm matters. Now trust your roots." The rain came hard, the wind pushed and pulled, the young tree bent further than it ever had before, but underneath the ground, unseen and silent, its roots held firm. By morning, the storm had passed, the grass rose again, sparkling with raindrops, birds returned to sing in the old oak's branches, and the young tree noticed something surprising. It had grown, not just taller, but stronger too. Its roots had stretched deeper during the storm, and for the first time, the young tree understood. Roots were not the opposite of growth. Roots were what made growth possible. From then on, whenever the wind blew through the meadow, the young tree swayed alongside the grass, no longer wishing to escape its roots, but grateful for them. Because the deeper we are rooted into love, courage, and community, the further we are able to reach toward the sky of our dreams. And I would say now we sing out the children's, but there's no children's to sing out from what I can see. So we will move into some meditative music. Thank you all. Do you want to play anything? Oh, you're okay.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. And Michaela, what a story. She had about a day to figure that one out. I think it's publishable if you think about the metaphors and roots. And I always talk about trees at Vitavu. If you're a tree and you make it at Vitavu with all the freezing and, it's rock, and then you're a really strong tree, and that is a much more eloquent way to say it. And to really, I think our children should hear that story a lot. So a little bit different way of doing things today. One of the things that occurred to me in terms of preparation was that there has been so much. I mean, it's always constant, right? We know that change is the constant. We talk about that a lot. And my just internal process and musings really kind of thought about ideas that include, sometimes we love it. We embrace it. We want it. Springtime, right? Or getting out of school, or the celebrations that come with overcoming and accomplishing things. And then there are things that are more along the lines of the New Year's resolutions, or I'm going to improve in this manner, or I'm going to start this process in a different way. And I think that what I'm sharing here with the guided meditation that's coming up is basically, it's a system that addresses process. There, lots of things feed into our creative process here, right? Readings and our different hymnals and the classes that we, mindfulness stuff, and it's awesome. I mean, that's what we are. That's what we do, because that's, for a lot of us, that's the spiritual pursuits. And in my experience, the liminal space is something that gets talked about a lot, and I think that's what we're going to do with this particular meditation. You get to just kick back for 7 or 8 minutes and just relax and be in that liminal space. And if, in terms of that explanation, what's happening is it's the between. When you get really deep about it, there's a pause between your heartbeats. There's a pause when you take a breath. There's a pause after you breathe out and breathe in again. Night and day, dawn and dusk. So if we make a decision to focus on that in terms of our own being, one of the big liminal spaces, and I refer to it as spiritual, is when we're going to sleep. That's a really interesting time, because we have access to both our conscious, I'm aware of, I'm just going to sleep or just waking up, and then deeper down, your unconscious is starting to be involved in that. And so when we make an effort to construct that liminal space, it's a decision. There's a time when you're in both of those, and that's when a lot of creative things happen. How many times do we hear about formulas being figured out in my sleep, or the solutions that come to me, or hey, I had this grand idea and we're going to take this vacation this year, or now I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to college and learn how to be a artist, or a trade school and be an electrician. Well, this is more of a conscious decision on how to get to that place. And so in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to just relax, close your eyes, just follow the process, because it's going to be a journey, and you can refer to it as that. I like this particular piece because it's repeatable. Once you've heard this, unless you get really deep and kind of nod out, which happens sometimes when we have a guided visualization, which is fine too, but it's something that you can do consistently. And so I ask you to consider, what are the challenges that you've been dealing with, or what is a change you've been wanting to make, or that you're interested in supporting the world to make, in a way that You feel frustrated sometimes, maybe, or might lose a little heart, or the anger can kick in. And so when you get to the peak of this particular meditation, you're going to be in a place that's special. It's your place. And the premise of this is if you have a question or questions about what that issue is. Is it relationship? Is it finances? Is it physical health? Is it mental health? Is it family? Is it your employment? And when you're at the peak of this particular place, and you'll know because you're going to get there, you simply pose the question, how do I deal with this issue, with this relationship? What is my next step? And you're putting that question literally out to the cosmos, the universe, the knowledge of all of our ancestors. And what's different about this is you're looking at process as opposed to outcome, really. In a way, you're planting the seed with no expectation that the answer comes slamming back into you in that moment. But you do know, when you do it with confidence, in fact, we all do this anyway, that it does come. That if it's a contemplation in the back of our brain or the front of our heart or our head, eventually it's there. We know. Yeah, marry this person. Yeah, go to this school. Yeah, change this direction in my occupation. Show love this way. All right? So go ahead and just settle in. We're going to do a couple of deep breaths that we normally do. All kinds of 4 square breathing. Pause, blow it out. What I want you to do is just relax, settle in, be present. Go ahead and close your eyes when you're ready. I want you to picture yourself on a beach. Engage all of your senses. What's the temperature? Maybe 78. Sun, you're kind of in the shade of a palm tree, sitting at a table, bare feet. Color of the sand is, well, it's a little bit darker where the waves are coming in. You can hear them as they kind of crash and roll in the foam, and then they roll back out. There's a rhythm to that. Off in the distance, you notice there's a big upside down cone that's dark green with vegetation. It's an extinct volcano. You understand that. You also have a realization that there's a little bit of anticipation, even excitement, that you're going to get to go to that location in the next half hour. You're drinking something healthy, lemonade, some water, and you notice off in the distance, in the deep, the light blue sky and the deep blue of the water and the smell of the salt water, maybe some birds. There's a few people around, some giggling children. And there's a boat, kind of an old-fashioned wooden boat, and it's making its way, it's getting larger, and your realization now is that the boat is coming to provide transportation for you. As it gets closer, you realize it's about 16, 17 kind of native culture, darker skinned, but they're happy, it seems like, and they're rowing, and there's 8 to a side, and soon enough that boat skids up onto the sand smoothly, and you realize there's a gesture you're supposed to join, and you grab your little backpack, push your shoes on and your sandals or whatever you're wearing, and you make your way. Not a lot spoken, they're just help you up into the top of the boat, and it's pushed back into the water and turned around. And soon enough, there's the rhythm of the oars slicing into the water. Swish, swish. And the people in service, these native folks, are glistening with sweat, fully engaged in the process. You feel the wind in your face. There's a couple dolphins maybe jumping off to the side, kind of squeaking. And you're getting closer. You realize, sure enough, that volcano is coming up. And before you even know it, you slide up on that bank. They help you down. They don't really say anything. They gesture towards the beginnings of a trail. The beach is not very wide. You walk the few steps. You start your path, and it's a beautiful path. It's kind of it's almost cave-like or tubular, but there are places where the sun does come in. There's so many shades of green. There's flowers of different colors as well. Animals, reptiles, birds, mammals skittering around. You can pause once in a while because it's uphill and look out at the vista to kind of see how high you've come and how far off your origination point was. You're getting kind of sweaty. You feel good though. It's a really good workout. But you're also deciding, how much longer do I do this? And when you get near a place that seems like it's going to be time to turn around, you part the leaves, the palm fronds, the vines, and you realize you're at your destination. You're at nearly the top. And the surprise is the big white marble temple. Got the columns holding up the big canopy of the front. You're excited. You just drop your backpack and walk up the 15 steps fairly quickly. And at the top, you're greeted. People you've known or do know. Some maybe you're gone from this life. They're just happy for you. They're smiling, quick hugs, pecks on the cheek, handshakes, embraces. And they direct you to the internal part of this sanctuary, basically, this temple. And you start walking back in, and you're feeling alive and alert. There's candles every 6 or 8 feet on the walls as it dims. And you get to the back end. That's the end of that particular hall. It's a beaded curtain. You part the curtain, you walk in, and it's a nice, warm, literally, massage room. You settle down, you face down, you realize this is your place. This is your healing place, and that you can come here whenever you need to. Your healer comes in, they don't say anything. They work on you. They allow you to just feel the challenges come and go. And it is in this place where you understand that you have access to ancestral wisdom, all of the knowledge of the universe at some point is available here. And that's when it occurs to you to pose your question. How do I deal with this one? What's next for me? And as you do that, inherent in that process is you let go. You let go of that question knowing that you're set up to receive the answers when they come. It might be tomorrow. It might be a month. It might be a year, but both your subconscious and your conscious have a higher alert towards information that answers those particular difficult or challenging questions for you. And that is the trusting the process, because you can come back to your place whenever you need to. Pose the same question, pose different questions. At some point, you realize you've dozed off. You kind of arouse yourself, and instead of feeling groggy and sore, you're actually very alert, grateful. Sit up, put on your shoes. You're happy. In fact, there's a new energy to you. The colors are a little bit brighter. Your sense of touch is a little more responsive. You can smell things. You start walking back down that hallway. There's a bounce in your step, a brightness, a hope, an understanding that the solution is yours. And sure enough, your mentors, teachers, loved ones that you encountered on the way in, they know. You say your quick goodbye, walk down the steps, grab your backpack. Of course, it's lighter. The path is bright. It's downhill. Things suspended in the dust, the little motes there. Now you see them. Now you feel them. You make your way down to the bottom. Not even, it just passes. You walk across the sand. You're helped back up into your boat. They push it back into the water, turn it around, and soon enough, the swish, swish, swish of the oars. You feel the wind, the sun, and you feel alive. You're grateful. You have understanding. You have knowledge that you maybe didn't have before. Soon enough, you get back to your home. You're helped out of the boat as it slides up. You say a quick thank you. You go back, seat yourself, and you look back up at that upside down cone of dark green, and there's a little sprinkle of light, a little sparkle at the top, and you understand now that that's your place. And you can go back there. In fact, now you've determined to go back there, to pose your question, to take care of yourself, to take respite. You settle in gratitude, feel the sand, and you start taking a breath, a little countdown to 3, coming back into the present, 2, and as you come awake, when you're ready, open your eyes and rejoin us here at our church so that we can start doing some creating for the next transition.
Thank you for that meditation.
What's that?
That didn't sound like church.
Our church
As we
is
continue reflecting on growth, the kind that stretches us, steadies us, and sometimes surprises us, we're going to spend the rest of our time together making something. So up here, you'll find paper to make grass and leaves, along with markers. In a moment, everyone will be invited to come up and grab some paper, scissors, markers. We're going to create blades of grass, and on that we invite you to reflect on what roots you, what keeps you grounded when life changes around you, what nourishes you, what gives you strength, stability, courage, or belonging. So you might write words like family, music, prayer, friendship, justice, nature, recovery, community. Maybe you draw symbols or use specific colors or images instead. There's no wrong way to participate. Then on the leaves, we invite you to reflect on growth. What are you reaching toward? What hopes, dreams, practices, or possibilities are beginning to unfold in your life? Maybe it's healing, maybe it's bravery, maybe it's learning to trust yourself, or simply make it through a difficult season with tenderness intact. So over the next few minutes, we invite you to come up and decorate your grass and leaves. And then once you have them cut out and ready, we're going to bring them up onto the chancel. Together, we're going to create a living landscape, roots below and growth above, a reminder that none of us grows alone. As you work, you may wish to sit quietly in reflection or gently converse with those around you. All are invited to participate in whatever way feels meaningful. May this small act remind us that we grow best when we are rooted deeply, and we are rooted more deeply when we grow together. So we're going to come on up and grab some paper.
Was this the bank channel? People standing in line?
We're going up to get blades of grass to reflect on what keeps the ground in the right down. Oh.
Please keep working if you're still working, but take a moment to think about what we are creating together. What began as separate pieces of paper will become a shared landscape. Grass woven together at the roots, leaves stretching upward in hope and possibility. Each blade of grass represents something that steadies a life, and each leaf carries a dream, a longing, a direction of growth. Some of what roots us is joyful. Some was learned through struggle. Some dreams are clear and bright, and others are tender beginnings just unfolding. And yet, together they remind us of something important. Growth does not happen apart from connection. Trees in a forest share nutrients through their roots. Grass survives storms because it grows together underground, and we too are strengthened by the ways we hold on to one another through seasons of change. May we leave this ritual remembering that we do not need to fear growth simply because it asks us to stretch. We already carry within us roots of what we need: love, community, memory, courage, and the deep wisdom that has carried us this far. May we continue to grow gently, bravely, and together. Please now rise if you are able as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak together the words in our order of service.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again. And for a benediction, I'm going to do a reminder of the loving kindness prayer, also known as metta. And you can remember, too, that you can replace, we're going to use may we be at peace. You can also may I be at peace, or may they be at peace. It goes like this. May we, I'm going to say may you actually, may you be at peace. May your hearts remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. Thanks, everybody.